Alright, I'm starting again. I'm about to make. I really wish that I didn't save my other file, like over my other file with the with this whole sword and shit, but I guess I gotta recreate it. Cause some of the stuff I do like I'm doing something else before I even like log on, to be honest. But anyway, something has been eating at my ass. And I'm like, I'm playing this particular game. I'm not gonna say what it is, but I've been playing this particular game. And it's like a lot of it has been going on too long. And what I mean is, it's just like it's just like wait a minute, no, I'm not gonna do this hand. I'm not gonna use this as the handle now. But it's somewhere down the line, it's just like the side quests are not side quests anymore. And what I mean is, like I'm playing certain games and it's like the side missions run just as long or even longer than the actual main mission. And I'm like, I don't know when this happened, but it just seems 100% unnecessary to have your side missions going on that long, like on some real shit. And it's just like it's I don't know. It's like I understand you want to make your game deep, I guess, but even still, like look at the game. Like I'm not gonna say what it is because it's been talked about to death. But it's like you don't want your side missions to go on as long as the main mission because then it just feels like you kind of got duped into doing something. I'm gonna just do this like thing here and there, but then it goes on too long, and it's like, come on, what is this? And then you be thinking that you're in the main mission, but you like, oh, this is a side mission. It's just too radical all the time. And I'm like, dude, nah. Like I don't know in what design process they thought that was cool, but that shit is 100% trash, bro. Like I'm not even sure. Like I said, I don't want to talk about this game, but it just feels like um it just feels like the shit that was supposed to be a side mission was just going on too long. Look at Watch Dogs. It was the same thing. Like the mission where you have to like do all that spray paint shit. Like not spray paint, when you gotta like paint the DedSec logo all over the place. Like why did that take so long? Like it was like 17 plus missions or something like that. Like the main mission didn't even go on that long. And then it's just so like, why am I doing this, to be honest? You know what I mean? Like why is that in the game? Like just to put DedSec logos all over the place. And in my honest opinion, I really think that's part of the studio saying that we want you to look at what we did type situation. But it's almost like you're forcing people to do this shit though. Like if they really cared, they would just explore the shit on their own instead of you coming up with something to like basically force people to to look at what you did. And then on the flip side, the shit you want people to do is not even worth the thing in the first place. Like you get like some like experience points here and there, or like you may get some like thing that might help you in one mission, but it's like it's not worth the trouble though. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit is trash 100%. Like I'm doing this, why? Why is this going on so long? Like I said, unless it's about like like the studio wants you to see the shit they did, it just seems pointless for your side mission to go on that long when you could have used that time and effort to make the story or the main missions just as good, or whatever the case is. I'm just like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit is crazy. I'm like, this shit shouldn't be that long, dude. Like it'd be like, oh man, I can't wait for this shit to be over type shit. Like if you gonna have like a side mission, it should be like the rule of three. Like you have three parts to it and that's it. You know what I mean? Or maybe like, you know, like between one, two, and three. And that should be it. It shouldn't go on for like 17 parts of this one mission. Like the shit is trash. And then it shouldn't be like any fetch quest type shit. And it's like these studios, I know they for a fact they hear what people don't like about these type of things. Like, you know, we tired of the fetch quest, but yet again they keep doing it. Like I'm not that I don't care too much about like fetch quests and everything. Like where you just go somewhere, like somebody tells you to go get this thing and then come back with it. Like I'm not I don't too much care like if there is one or not. My thing is, how is it like how is it like fitting with the story or something? You know what I mean? Like is it enhancing the story? Am I getting something like that's on like real good out of it? Don't just have me do something for like some experience or just for me to see the world you built. Like I said, if I cared, I'll go see the shit myself. You know what I mean? It's just like these side quests almost seem pointless doing like when it's that many, when they're scattered all across the screen. It just seems overwhelming, like damn. And then it's like for you to like, you know, for players to stay in your game. Like I said, I understand that. I hear it. Trust me, I understand, but at the same time, dude, it just seems too much. It just seems too much to have that many side quests. Your side quests, like say if you have a like I don't know, like 100 main missions, you shouldn't have like 200 side quests. You know what I mean? Or even if you did say like, okay, I'm gonna have 200, it should just be one. Like it shouldn't be like stringing people along. Like you know what I mean? Like you got 200 side missions, but every mission has like three parts to it. then it's not side quest at this point. It's the actual thing. You know, it's like alternative quest basically. And that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be like that. It should just be like I said, there's rules to the shit. If you got 100 missions, if you got 200 side quests, then there should just be one mission in like for the 200. Don't like I said, don't put 3 acts to the shit. No, that's too much. Or if you have like 50 side quests and you got like 100 missions, then it should be like the rule of three, and don't have them like all 50 of them have 3 acts to it. I mean, change the shit up, like one has one, and then there's 2 acts in one of them and 3 acts. It just constantly keep mixing it up, and then have them shits be short. Don't have them as long as the main mission. That's the whole point of the side mission. Damn. It just be too much shit in your missions. This shit don't even make sense. But you see this in the game industry all the time. And then some of the time the people don't be compelling enough to even want to stay with them, like for the duration of the period you with them with. It's like I really don't care. And then that's another thing. These side quests be having your character do shit. It like okay, I'm big on this. If it doesn't have nothing to do with the main character or characters, then what's the point? What's the point of doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like I remember Noctis in Final Fantasy 15, and it was this dude. It's two in particular that I remember. Because even if somebody don't agree with exactly what I'm saying, but it's like take Noctis occupation out of the equation. Well, no, you really can't take it out of the equation. It's just like okay, Noctis was the prince of what's it called, um, insomnia or some shit like that. Anyway, he was the prince of this city, and then his father died, but they constantly kept saying he was the prince. In all reality, since his father died, he was the king. So, or whatever, prince, king, whatever you want to use, he's royalty basically. And then it was these two dudes in particular. One was this guy, he was a photographer, and he wanted Noctis to go out there and get pictures for his magazine. And then you had this other dude named Dino, I think his name was. He had this like New York accent. And he wanted Noctis and them to get like these like rings or something. It was something dumb. So I'm like, why is Noctis like doing fetch quests for basically his subjects? That shit didn't make sense. Like, because he's the king, like you should be doing shit for me. It shouldn't be the other way around. And I'm like, it's just so ridiculous. Wait a minute. It was so ridiculous. Like I'm the prince or the king, and no, I'm not doing nothing for you. But of course, you know what I'm saying. Oh, wait a minute. What? Damn. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. But yeah, like you gotta have like these legitimate reasons for people to like do missions and shit. Like if you got like a story about like a king or a princess or something, this person shouldn't be doing side quests for like random people. The mission should pertain to the character themselves. You know, like if it was like just like if it was like Gladius or like Pronto or Ignis is like relative or something, or it was something for them, then I could see the side quest. But if you're just some random dude, why am I doing this for you, bro? Like the shit honestly didn't make sense. Or like if you got or like what's another example? Like Watch Dogs, going back to Watch Dogs. Like Watch Dogs was kind of weird because it was like the side quests in Watch Dogs had nothing to do with like who Satara or Wrench or any other people were. They were like you didn't hear or see none of their backstory. It was just like they were just there. You know what I'm saying? Like it just honestly meant it just honestly meant nothing, to be honest. It was just like, oh, come on, dude. What else? Damn, I forgot how to do this. But yeah, it just basically seemed like they was just there. I mean, if you're gonna do side missions, at least have them tied to the people the characters with or something like that. I mean, just don't have just some like just some random dude. You know what I mean? Like the shit becomes like pointless, to be honest. It's like, why am I doing this? That's what I don't understand about this shit sometimes. Cause I mean, in my shit, at least you're doing like these side quests for like family or friends. You know them, so you're gonna do something for somebody. Or again, if you're gonna do something for some random dude, the shit has to mean something. Like, I'm doing this to get this particular item, and this item is like giving me some real shit. I mean, if you're not doing all that, then it's pointless. It's like, why? But it's like these games. I don't know what's going on with them, dude. It's basically ridiculous. And you see that shit all the time, all everywhere. Or like have like the like. No, I'm not even gonna say that because that's too much. I don't want nobody stealing my idea and shit. Like, cause I said too much as is. Yeah, I said too much as is. But I don't know, dude. The industry, the whole game industry, that shit gotta change, man. Cause it's just too ridiculous. And these dudes be acting like they doing something tight, and it's like, but you keep doing the same shit like over and over again. I could have just used the planer for this. Because all these nutsacks keep talking about trying to revolutionize some shit. It's like, you know how you revolutionize like the game industry. But see, but again, if you try that though, then some people gonna be like not feeling the idea, like going back to Watch Dogs with Legions. Like people had a problem with the way like it was multiple protagonists and they was, you know what I mean, like saying whatever they was saying about it, like the mouths weren't moving right and they didn't execute this. It's like, so if you do try something, you know what I mean, then people gonna be like trying to get at you with the shit. So it's like, you know what I mean, like what could you do really? And it's like I hear what people saying about that shit. But like I said, at the same time, I mean, it's just like for me, like I've been playing games for a very long time. So it's like I can see what the industry really needs. You know what I'm saying? And there's some things that they just won't do because they're too stuck in their ways. Like I said, there's just some things they just won't do. You know what I'm saying? Because they're using the same tropes and they be following everybody else. See, I'm not following nobody else. I mean, of course, like I have some inspiration with certain stuff, but like in terms of like how certain stuff is structured, I'm not trying to follow everybody else because oh I think this is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, because it's just like again hiding in tall grass and and sneaking up on people, throwing shit to distract enemies. That shit is lame. Like it was cool at the time, I guess. I mean, I never really cared for that shit one way or another. But after a certain time though, it starts to get redundant. It's just even if you still thought it was cool, it's like it's redundant though at this point because everybody's been doing it. So why am I gonna do some shit when everybody was doing it? You know what I mean? That shit is lame. I mean, just come up with come up with some new shit. Like even like I said, I don't like the whole stealth and shit because it's just an excuse to be in the studio's game longer. But even if you did want to just do that shit, come up with something new though. I mean, cause you're doing the same thing everybody else has done like a million times. And like, what makes your game like on some real shit that's like, oh man, they changed the way this whole thing is. And then even with the like the players and stuff, sometimes the players be fucking up though. Like the community, because they're trying to ask the studio to do some extra shit. Like it's like a whole bunch of stuff. Like we're gonna talk about Cyberpunk for a minute and how they said this is going to revolutionize like gaming, but it really didn't. I mean, in the core of the whole thing is nothing but a first person shooter. It's an open world first person shooter through and through. So if you was trying to revolutionize something, it's like, nah, not really. And I'm not even like throwing shade at them. It's like, no, but the fact that you were saying you wanted to revolutionize something and you really didn't deliver is kind of like, no, you didn't really revolutionize anything. But you're the one that, and the people were saying it. See, I'm gonna just say this: if Cyberpunk really wanted to revolutionize something, that whole life path wasn't doing it. Because besides the first what, like 30 minutes or so, like everything else was pretty much the same. It was pretty much the same exact thing everywhere, no matter what you picked. So what they should have done, like people said, was make all them shits different. And I explained how to make them different. Like Street Kid and corporate, they don't go to the Badlands. I mean, you can in mission, like you can go in the Badlands on your free time, but as the main core of the story, no, they stay. All their missions and what they have to do is in Night City, and and the Nomad would have just been strictly um in the Badlands. Like the Nomad would have been in the Badlands again. The person could travel to Night City, but their story just locks to the Badlands. So that would have been revolutionizing something. But like if the players are talking like, yo, you got to do this, you're asking for the studio to do way too much. And you see they're struggling with the story they already got as is. So it's just certain things, like if you gotta kind of like put it into perspective, really. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just certain shit that people got to put in perspective. Like how far do you want them to go, and how far is the studio willing to take the shit? Because you can't, like I said, if you talking about revolutionizing something, there's some shit that you gotta, and then you gotta actually change it on some real shit. Like you just can't like just toss anything out there and just think, oh, this is gonna be hot. No, you actually gotta, you actually have to you actually have to make a strategic move. You know what I'm saying? Like you just can't, like I said, you just can't throw anything out there and just think like, oh, this is revolutionizing something. Like nah, like, like with like that whack ass shit, Death Stranding. Like nah, bro, you're not revolutionizing like a walking simulator. Like that was some like in the sex term that was like a kink basically. You know what I mean? Like you came up with some radical shit that was dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody want to have a walking simulator. Like I said, if you're gonna do something, you gotta do some real shit. I mean, just the way you like I said, the way you structure certain things, it just has to be like done right. And it has to make sense to what your story is. I mean, even if you got a weird story or whatever, but the shit has to at least has to like fit with the story you're trying to tell. I mean, don't just be making up shit and then you got your player base is trying to figure out what you're trying to say or do. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just like even with what I'm doing right now, I'm like making an axe. I mean, it's not like, and the last weapon was a sword. I mean, it's not nothing like really crazy. You know what I'm saying? But even like the story I'm telling is like on some new shit. Cause I mean, nobody's ever had the type of story that I'm trying to tell. Like the concept itself is like the concept itself is not new, but it's how I'm telling it is on some new shit. But again, you're not gonna have too many people, you know, telling the shit I'm telling. Cause everybody wanna be in they lame ass bubbles and shit. But see, I was always the type of dude that I never went with the like what everybody else was doing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make this point long. I never was on some shit like everybody else. You know what I mean? But if you feel like I like what I'm doing isn't revolutionizing nothing, some people gonna say it I am, but like I said, at the same time, I'm not trying to revolutionize anything. To be honest, I'm just like basically just doing like my own thing. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody was like talking about my like story, it's just I mean, I just basically just let the cars like fall where they may. Like I'm just like, if you think this revolutionized something, then it is what it is. If you don't think that, then what am I supposed to say? That's how I feel about it. Like I said, I'm not trying to revolutionize anything. I'm just tired of the same like shit basically that everybody is like doing. You know, it's like it's the same thing, and you keep trying to basically pass it off as it's like, oh, this is some new shit, and it's like, no, it's not. Stop. The shit is lame. You know what I mean? The shit is lame. Like I'm surprised Cyberpunk didn't have the tall grass shit somewhere. Like I said, cause that shit gets corny after a while. I mean, it gets hella corny. And some people they like the shit, but I mean, again, you got all these games that came out in the past, like I don't know how long, did the same exact thing. So like, what are you? I mean, you gonna keep doing the same shit? Like I said, nah, man. It's just and I'm not trying to even act like I got all the answers neither. But at some point, you gotta keep evolving. You gotta evolve. You know what I mean? You gotta evolve the shit some other time, like someday. You gotta evolve. You can't have your shit stagnant forever. Keep doing the same exact shit all the time. And be having the same people tell these same stories and shit. The shit gets tiring and it gets lame. That's like eating the same food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner all the time. Like at a certain point, like it's like even your favorite food. I mean, at some point is good. Like you eat your favorite food all the time, but after a certain point, it's like, damn, I need to eat something new or different. Maybe I'll find a new favorite somewhere. But if you constantly keep eating the same shit over and over and over again, and they keep trying to pass it off like this is always good, it's like, and it's not even like saying like, oh, but what you think is good is subjective. It's like, or whatever the case, it's like, nah. It's like, nah, dude. You just, I mean, it's just, I almost lost track of this shit. Damn, man. What am I really trying to do? But the way you do this shit like in games, the way you do this shit in games, man, it's just, it honestly has to change. Cause there's too much shit that's going on that's goofy. And like I said, there's too much of a chore. When you got these like, when you got these certain missions and shit. But like I said, I mean, cause I already wrote down my shit. And I like I said, I'm up here like, this is what I want to do, and this is what is like not cool. Cause I play video games long enough to know what the deal is. Well, let me see what happens if I do this shit. Nah, hell no. But it's like these games, I don't know what the deal is with them. And then they be like messing up and shit. Cause like I said, you got like all these bad examples like Bethesda, you got like Anthem and shit. But it's just like the studio, like, I don't know. They see like something going on, but then they do the exact same thing. Like, you did not learn none of the lessons from the past, like from other examples that went wrong. Like, you doing the exact same thing. Like, the shit is just ridiculous. To be honest, it's 100% ridiculous, and it's uncalled for in 2020. I mean, it's just 100% uncalled for. Man, why's my shit Russian? But I'm telling you, the industry it's just broke. And then everybody keeps talking about like GTA and shit. And you look at GTA compared to like other games that just come out. I mean, why is the industry, like, I'm not saying like the industry is in competition with themselves, even though they kind of are, but it just feels like, why are you letting a 7-year-old game come out and mollywhopping the shit out of y'all, and y'all just come out? Like, that's some weird shit to me. Like a 7-year-old game. Like I said, games are not supposed to last this long usually to begin with. Like I said, the life cycle of a game, a AAA game, is, like I said, between 3 months to like maybe a year and a half, in that stretching it. But then you got like GTA, just straight still running the shit. I don't have nothing to, I mean, I do have little slight problems with GT. I mean, how the NPCs, they got like what are aim bots, and they just, I mean, they could shoot the wings off a fly. I don't like all that shit, but it's just like, I mean, GTA is, that's why they do what they do. And it's like y'all in the industry still struggling. I mean, and then you gotta look, GTA came out in like 2013 on the PlayStation 3. And it's still like it's on 4, now it's about to be on 5. Like, that shit is insane. I mean, that shit is 100% insane, dude. That shit is 100% insane. Y'all can't beat a 7-year-old game, dude. I don't want to hear no excuses neither. I just don't want to hear all that. You know what? I'm about to do something just to make this even. Yeah, just to make this even. I mean, hell, but I mean, it's just like some people could be like, well, I mean, they just constantly keep, like, Rockstar constantly keep putting out shit. It's like, yeah, I mean, they do. I mean, 100% they keep putting out shit every day. Like, not every day, but I mean, they constantly making like updates and shit. But it's still insane though. Like I just don't care. It's just insane. Like I wouldn't. I mean, I mean it'll be done by then. But like I said, like all the GTA shit. That's why people playing it to this day. That is exactly why people still playing it to this day. And then they just put out a DLC about the Cayo Perico shit. It's like you wouldn't have like a game like I don't know, like I don't know, Days Gone or something. That ain't gonna be lasting for no 7 years. That franchise probably just was one and done and already dead. You know what I mean? And I noticed. I mean, like, it's just. I just don't see the industry changing anytime soon on some real shit. And there's gonna have to be somebody to do some bullshit the right way for people to be like, oh, that's how you do it. And then they're gonna be copying off of that person, and then that thing that was innovative ain't gonna be. It's not gonna be the same thing. It's just gonna be like everybody's done it now, cause everybody copied off dude. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna copy off dude. Cause these industry dudes, they don't. I don't know. And then there's a good thing to make a gameplay loop. Going back to GTA, the businesses, the businesses is not the problem, but it's a good gameplay loop though. You know, like you get the ingredients to make your like drugs or whatever, and you get the parts like the setup, and then wait for, it could be like passive like the biker business or active like the crates, and then you sell it and get your money. I mean, you can't change. And see, this is another thing about the community. You really can't change that business model. Like I'm pretty sure there's like minor ways to change it, but at the same time, that's life. I mean, you go to your job, you do your work and come back home. You know what I mean? Or you could go out and do whatever, but like the whole mundane life of doing a job is like, what else could you how else you could spice it up? Like I said, there might be some people that actually figure it out, but what I'm saying is the actual loop itself is a pretty good thing. You can't argue with the loop, like the gameplay loop of the crates and everything. The problem is when you don't have anything to spend your money on, like that's worth it. Like, cause you really don't need like all these supercars or like something like that. You know what I mean? Like it has to be like a thing like you do A, and then like B is always changing. Like Like it has to be this thing that you can do or get with the money you have. And it's like I don't know, say of like the clubs for instance, like you buy clothes, but then say if you had like a thing where you had to wear some expensive clothes to get into this place, then it's like, okay, then I have to buy expensive clothes. Or like if there's races, like you can't enter the race with certain stuff, you got to buy this, like something like that. So it could be, you like, it'll be a reason to buy something with your money. You know what I mean? Like they have like the casino and shit. And it's like, yeah, they got these things, but it just has to be like more to the thing that you're buying, like doing the gameplay loop for. And that's basically like, you know what I mean? That's basically how I see it. But like these industry dudes, they ain't trying to innovate nothing, man. They just not trying to innovate nothing. They they it's like they want to, but they can't get out of the tried and true thing that will get them like this whole, like that they did some real shit. Like I said, Cyberpunk, no shade to them, but it's just like they didn't revolutionize nothing. Then again with them, like GTA and a couple of other games figured out a lot of shit a long time ago. Like in GTA 3, that came out what, 2001. They was doing the shit right damn near 20 years ago. And Cyberpunk can't figure out the basic shit. I look with the devs and everything, I feel for them. And it was rushed, and then even I heard this dude, he was saying like he kind of blames like the programmers and some other people. He said something. And I'm like, well, you really can't blame the programmers. Like say if like I was hired to do a weapon or like a gun. It's like I got hired to model the shit. Now what the programmers do with how the bullets react and the hitbox and shit and all this shit, that's the programmers. That's on their end to figure out the distance and all this other shit. That's them, and the people coming up with the math of what this gun does, this, that, and the other. That's them. It's like I just modeled this axe. Now whoever takes it and just said like, okay, it takes off this much of damage and all this shit, that's them. But at the same time though, you can't fault the programmers if the game was rushed, because it's like, what do you want them to do? You know what I mean? And I keep telling people this. I've said this in multiple videos. These companies need to stop coming out with release dates. Don't say your shit is coming out at a certain day. You know what I mean? Like, this is how it is. If you're saying you're going to have a release date, make sure your game has gone gold like a year until you release the shit. And sit on the shit for from 6 months to a year at least. Like after it's gone gold. Don't announce release dates and you're still working on the shit. Don't do that. Don't do it. Just like if I finish my game today, my shit is gone gold. Cause Cyberpunk changed that, and when something went gold, that really don't mean nothing. Cause damn, this is it anyway. Just say if I finish my shit today, then I could have a release date saying like my game is coming out June 11th, 2021 or something like that. You know what I mean? Cuz it's like it's finished, everything is worked out, everything is tip top shape. We tested shit out on different platforms. Or we're just gonna have like a PlayStation 5 exclusive, even though I'm looking towards like the PlayStation 8 or 9 or something like that. But at least it's like you give people time to be hyped about your shit. Like, cause you're gonna give people time to be hyped about it, cause you be like, oh, I'm making this game, and then people like, oh shit, and you like come out with trailers every now and then. You drop pictures and trailers and say coming soon, and just leave it at that. If you're gonna say something, just coming soon. Don't say it's ready when it's ready and knowing it's not. So just say it's coming soon. Just whenever, or just coming in the future. And then when you got your shit done right, then you have the release date. And that's how it goes. Don't come up with a release date, motherfucker, and you still working on the shit. Cause I mean anything can change. Like anything could change at this point. So I'm like, why even announce? Why even announce the thing if you don't know? You know what I mean? Because I mean something might happen. It'd be a whole issue. So just don't do that shit, dude. Don't come out with release dates. I need to know when this. No, never mind. Never mind. Cause that's how I'm gonna get down with my shit. I'm like, I mean, then for me, I gave myself a 20-year window. So I mean, I will eventually be done with this in 20 years. That's what I'm saying. Like the PlayStation 8 or 9. You know what I mean? Because you gotta think. Like I'm trying to do some like big shit, and the technology will eventually be there. You know what I mean? For me to do what I want to do. Because some people be like I said, like I heard the whole cyberpunk was being ambitious. It's like I said, for me, it's not about the ambition about it. Cause it's like I said, 20 years technology will be outrageous in that time to build the game I'm basically like wanting to build. I mean, like doing this axe. I mean, I did this like what I did 2 weapons in an hour. So imagine if I was like crunching and doing like 100-hour work weeks. Cause I'm not. I mean, I was putting mad hours into it at first, but after a while, it's just like I'm not putting mad hours into it no more. But I did like 2 weapons in an hour. So, and then I got the characters. I got like a lot of them, and then I already did the landmarks. You know, like Grand Canyon type, Niagara Falls type shit, like landmarks. But then I already have the outline and the height of my countries. I'm not doing islands. Fuck doing islands. I'm doing the whole countries. I got 8 of them bitches. So it was like, oh, this is going to be like an undertaking. It's like all you got to do, because I already have them. The only thing is, because this was early on in Unreal, it's it's like sitting on a plane, and it's the actual outline of the country and the height and everything. The only thing is like the ocean floor I didn't do, because I don't know how to sync the plane part and make it like it's connected to the actual planet. I didn't even attempt to do it yet, but I mean, I'm not concerned about how the ocean floor looks like. I'm not trying to like, oh, there's some things at the bottom of the sea that's like, whoa, but I'm not but like saying like, oh, this coral reef has to be here. It's just like whatever. I don't care. That's what makes my shit easy, because a lot of the shit, like I'm not caring about the grooves and the crevasses and all this shit. I mean, it's just like if it gives the place character, that's cool. But I'm not, because you're not supposed to be meticulous about like the terrain to a certain degree. It has to be playable. But I'm not like worrying about like, oh, this hill has to be on a 30-degree angle and all that shit. Cause it's like it's supposed to look natural. I'm not trying to make it artificial, like this has to be exactly this way. Like I said, it has to be playable. But it's just when you start getting into the like the idiosyncrasies, then it just stops being fun. It's like just oh, I'm gonna create this big ditch, and it's like oh, it's leaning to the side. It's like oh, that's cool. That's the part of it right there. But if you, but it's already finished. Like the country is done. Technically, I already have the materials to the countries in Unreal. The only thing is for me is the, like I said, the hardware. It's like I need to run the grass instead of for this, so it won't lag my shit, and like putting trees and shit. Like a machine has to handle that. If I need servers or server farm or something like that. But it's like the countries, it's already there. So it's like the ambition is done. The only thing about the ambition is to make buildings. And I said I was gonna start doing those next year. If I already got over 200 something characters and all this shit, I mean, it's just the buildings is just like, I mean, just imagine if I spent another like a whole year on buildings. I'll just be sitting here just making shit. You know what I mean? So, but I'm not gonna say my game is gonna come out like 2025. Like fuck that, nah. Because this shit is too big to be on the PlayStation 5 and 6 and 7. Depending on how 7 looks. But I know 6 ain't gonna handle the shit. So 7 might be it. But definitely like PlayStation 8 or 9. And I'm already in the future with the shit. I already know what the deal is. You know what I mean? That's how my get down is. You know what I mean? So if I was like even spend another hour on, I mean, even though this is not finished, like I didn't apply the mirror modifier and everything, and I'm like the handle is gonna look like something, but I mean, just I could just basically say this is the axe, and then put a material on like the metal material on the blade part, and I mean, you know what I mean. But I'm cool. But like I said, it's just my whole thing is I need to get out there. But again, being a creator that's already introverted, it's hard for me to do all this shit myself. You know what I mean? Like if I just need a whole like team and shit. You know, and try to do some real shit. That's not what I wanted to do. What is this? Oh hell no. So that's what I'm up on. If you want to know what I'm up on, dude, because it's just like to be honest, it's like at this point, it's just me modeling regular shit. I can't like add the skin sufficiently without my computer lagging because I gotta use the multi-res modifier and bump that shit up to 5, and this shit's lagging, and I'm pretty sure I gotta bump it even higher. So it's just like me, I gotta do. like normal shit. But like right now, man, I'm done. Cause I'm hungry as hell. I'm about to eat. And I'm out this bitch. I'll catch y'all later. See you in the next video, bro.